Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Okie dokie. This is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Jordan. Joel.
Hey guys, what's up? Oh man, all right. My nickname is an actual name.
Yeah, Jordan Joel. So, not to be confused with Jordan Poole, or not Jordan Poole, Jordan Peele.
Who's not to be confused with Jordan Peele.
Jordan
Poole is someone else. I don't know who that is.
He's a very good basketball player on the Warriors. So.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so we're going to talk about Jordan Peele's most recent, Nope, from this year, 2022.
Nope.
You don't want to?
Nope.
All right, so I have a hot take on this one. So, clickbait. So keep listening. That's going to be
listening to find out what this hot take is.
Yeah, it will be toward the end of the episode because we're probably not going to do spoilers at the beginning. And then toward the end we will, and I'll give you a little, I don't know. Some I don't think anybody's talked about that I've seen, at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, look for that toward the end. But before we get too crazy, go find us on Facebook. Go find us on the Instagram, the Twitter, the Truth Social. And we're on YouTube. Joel has amazing photography.
I do.
For our videos.
All of the movies that go up on YouTube.
Yep.
And I'm actually the photographer on set. So.
Yep. Yeah. He's
Please, people on set for these movies, don't sue me, because this is just a...
So yeah, you can listen to our show through YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and like a dozen other streaming platforms for podcasts.
Yep.
All right.
On all of them.
We're on all of them. All right, Joel, tell us who is a part of Nope.
All right. I mean, Nope. So this one starts...
That's never going to get old.
Oh, yeah, of course not. Nope, it's not.
Oh my God.
Daniel Kaluuya. He was in Jordan Peele's first movie, Get Out. He is in Black Panther, or was in Black Panther, and Sicario. And then we got Keke Palmer, the sister. And she was in some Nickelodeon show called Winx Club, which she was in 110 episodes of.
Okay.
23 episodes of Scream Queens, which I actually thought that was a pretty enjoyable show. It was fun.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And 6 episodes of the Scream TV show, which I think it was the 3rd season that she was in.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch the 3rd season.
Yeah. I haven't either. But she wasn't in the first 2, so I'm assuming it was the 3rd.
The 3rd season is like a completely different cast and everything, right?
It is. It is. Yeah. It actually has the ghost face mask though.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, so I was kind of interested in that. See, how did they get away with it and the first two couldn't?
Right.
And most recently she was in Lightyear. So,
Okay.
along with Nope, she was just like complete opposite Lightyear, which came out around the same time. And then we got Steven Yeun. He is in Mayhem, movie with Samara Weaving. So I kind of want to check that one out.
Okay.
He's in a Amazon show, Invincible. He's in 11 episodes, but it's only been on for one season, so that's going to keep on going. And people know him most as Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Oh,
which he was in
that's
81
what
episodes.
Okay, that's what I recognized him from.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 3 seasons of it that you saw.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah.
Nah, he was on it from day one all the way to the point that they killed him off, which pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And it was written by Jordan Peele.
Oh.
He did the screenplay for Candyman, along with, I think the actual director of that movie wrote it too. He wrote Keanu, which is a comedy with Key and Peele.
Oh, okay.
Both of them. And it's like I thought it was hilarious, but the cover of the movie is them with a cat, and the cat's name is Keanu, so it's basically about a cat.
Okay.
And a show that he created called The Last OG, which he did 40 episodes of with Tracy Morgan.
Oh gosh, I hate Tracy Morgan. I think he's so
His voice
annoying.
is really annoying.
Oh man, come on, Jordan Peele, stick to horror. No, he's pretty funny. But
yeah,
Tracy Morgan is not.
He was one of the best parts of Mad TV. Him and Key.
Yeah.
I forgot what his full name was, but and this was directed by Jordan Peele. Go figure. Mm. And he's directed Get Out and Us.
Okay.
So
awesome.
Yeah, that's his direct, his filmography for directing.
Okay.
3 movies.
Yeah, you would think he had like 10 or 15.
Yeah, at least the way that people talk about him being the greatest director. But that's a different conversation.
All right, so the plot synopsis is: the residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery.
Oh, man.
So that's pretty vague.
It is very vague. And the thing with spoiler-free conversation is it's really not much to go off of if we're not doing spoilers. Mm-hmm. There's really not a whole lot there.
Yeah.
Spoiler-free wise.
Yeah.
So this section might be kind of short.
Yeah. I could see that. So I'll just start with kind of what I thought leading up to this movie, and then just my overall kind of feeling as I left the theater. So, I was excited when I heard about Jordan Peele making a new horror film. And then they had like the poster come out. And then I was like, okay, I don't know. This looks a little weird. So I kind of stopped getting as excited. And then trailers started coming out. And then I got a little less excited. It looked interesting, but alien stuff is not really my big thing that that I like necessarily. So, I wasn't too stoked on it. But, I wanted to see it. It was Jordan Peele. He's, really hyped up. I did really like Get Out and Us. I liked both those. And so wanted to give it a shot. I didn't have super high expectations though.
Mm-hmm.
And I left the theater saying that was okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of like, okay, that was fine.
Yeah.
I don't regret going, but I'm not like doing cartwheels out of the theater or anything.
Yeah.
What about you?
I kind of had similar feelings. I did enjoy this one more than I did Us.
Really?
I thought overall
Okay.
it was a more like enjoyable movie for me
Hmm.
for some reason. I don't know. It's I do like Aliens a little bit more than you do.
Yeah.
But even with that, it's really like the alien the presence is there, but not really in this
Yeah.
movie. Like it's not a huge part of this movie.
Mhm.
And where it's more of a character
Yeah.
driven story, and I really like that.
Mhm.
So the whole alien thing was kind of just like a subplot in this
Sure.
movie,
Yeah.
and so I feel like even if you're not a fan of alien movies, this isn't really one. It is, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I mean, yeah, it's the atmosphere. I really liked. I know people comment on the music in it not being like everyone has to compare all of Jordan Peele's movies, and I
To
know
each
I
other.
just kind of to each other.
Yeah.
I know I kind of did by saying it's better than Us,
Yeah.
but that's only like just to compare which one was more enjoyable.
Sure.
But I I enjoyed the music in this movie. A lot
Okay.
of people are saying that it's like their least favorite of the three as far as music goes.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's like don't maybe not compare everything every little detail of a Jordan Peele movie to another.
Well, to
And I know
me, with the music, this one had more of like a Steven Spielberg type of score. Like it
it
was a
did,
little more epic and bigger,
yeah,
like an orchestra going, and it kind of had more of that. Where
hmm
us and Get Out was more of like straight horror score.
yeah, they're more grounded,
Yeah,
and this was more like fantastical.
yeah,
And people were actually saying that Jordan Peele does for the sky what Steven Spielberg did for the ocean.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
comparing it to Jaws. I'm like, no, no, that's not even that's not a thing. I'm sorry. There is zero comparison between this and Jaws. But yeah, I really do see like the Steven Spielberg influence in this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Over any other director.
Sure.
This is definitely more of like a Spielberg, like maybe maybe he was a producer. I don't know. I doubt it. Jordan Peele tends to be more have like a close knit kind of like
Yeah.
a
He wants that
doesn't
control.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have Spielberg involved, it's not going to be a Jordan Peele movie.
Yeah. No.
Sorry.
Just like what was it, Poltergeist, where
Yeah.
Spielberg
He
wasn't
wasn't
the director.
directing it, but it was definitely a Spielberg movie.
Yeah, for sure. So you said, Us and Get Out was more grounded, and I agree as far as like the score goes. It was more straight horror. The score I felt like in those movies really added to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Now, I do think that this one was pretty grounded as far as the story.
Yeah, it's
Because I mean, yes, there's like this thing in the sky, and that stuff isn't grounded, but for
it's in the sky. It's not grounded.
yeah, for that type of a movie, usually that's like bigger. Like we're talking about like the world is ending, and Independence Day, and all that. I don't, except for Signs. I don't think I've seen a movie which is about aliens or whatever you want to call it, be as grounded I think this one and Signs are the two that I can think of. Usually when
Not
we
like
have like
world ending.
Yeah, usually when there's like UFOs and aliens involved, it's a bigger spectacle of a film.
Well, these could be the sequels or the prequels to those.
Oh
like,
gosh, I hope not.
More more spectacular like end of world days.
Yeah.
No, probably not though. But
it's a pretty ambitious movie.
It is.
It's definitely outside of, I think, what a lot of people maybe thought it was going to be.
Definitely probably cost the most of all three of his movies.
Sure, yeah.
As far as, it's basically like, Jordan Peele with Get Out was a lower budget type of movie just to get some footing in the directing. He's never directed anything before that. So that was like his first outing as a director, and he's just trying to get his foot in the door.
Yeah.
And then he got a slightly bigger budget with us, and then with this one he got an even bigger budget, and you can definitely see it. You can definitely tell that there was more going on in this movie than the other movies, for sure.
Yeah. Especially with the camera work.
Cinematography was amazing in this movie.
I would say that's, usually that's not going to be like a huge positive for me. But for this one, I would say, it looked really cool.
Yeah.
And it was realistic looking. Like, it looked real, that thing in the sky.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool to see it, especially the night shots and stuff, like with all the stars and everything. It was pretty impressive. So I definitely got to hand it to him for that. The cinematography, some of the shots and everything was like pretty perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I thought the acting was really good.
Oh, yeah. We could talk about that stuff.
We can talk about the acting in the movie. Trying to figure out what to say that's not going to be spoilered. How about the performances?
That's an obvious one. I always try to think of things that people aren't going to talk about, and I just forget about the basics. Acting, yes, very good.
Yeah, performances all around, especially between the three that I mentioned, were really good. The brother-sister dynamic, a lot of the times movies don't nail that, don't get that that perfect. And I've seen a couple, just like a small handful of movies that are like, that's, that feels real. And this was one of those movies. And I liked how opposite they were from each other. One felt very subdued and just like whatever kind of. Yeah. And the other one was more like chipper and more like more excited and everything. So I like that.
Yeah, the brother, he didn't really want to even look at anybody.
No.
He wouldn't. Yeah, no. He didn't care about anything. It's like, dang, dude. Man,
he was just trying to keep. He was trying to keep the business afloat, but it's like maybe try being more excited about your job, and maybe you won't have this issue.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna want to work with you? But no, the acting was very good. And there's a pretty small cast. It's not a lot of people. I mean, there's 4 people that are in the movie the most. Yeah,
those 3, and then the fries guy.
Yeah, and then the rest of them, they're really short.
Yeah, the other ones were more like, even the fries guy was kind of like a smaller appearance, but I was kind of confused by that because I thought Fry's closed like a few years ago, and this was supposed to be like I was like, oh, is this supposed to take place in like the 90s or like early 2000s? But no, it's like an up-to-date movie. I'm like, okay, well, Fry's is kind of a weird store to choose.
I know. Yeah, I haven't seen anything about Fry's in years.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. Could have done Best Buy. They're still open. They do the same thing as far as what he was doing. if
Let
you're
me
trying to
see
get
here.
like marketing for your movie. I don't know how much money you're getting from Fry's.
Fry's Electronics, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Are there any more?
I'm pretty sure there may have been one or two when this movie was made, but like I don't know. It's still a weird choice.
Yeah. It's, if there's any, it's like very, very far and few between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did think that was weird to see Fry's. And what's funny too is I've seen some other reviews from like YouTubers or whatever, and they never remember the name of the place. For them, it's probably not even like a real place because I think Fry's is only California.
I think it's only a California. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not like nationwide.
Yeah,
Maybe they'd still be in business if they were.
Because they're like, I don't know. It's like he works at some electronics store. Like, you don't know Fry's? Like, what?
Yeah, it was a pretty big place growing up.
Yeah,
but we grew up in California, so.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so yeah, the acting is amazing. The writing's good, the script is good. And I like some of the deeper meaning stuff, which we'll get into a little later. And I do like it. I think the stuff that he touches on is different from what we're typically seeing with some of the woke movies or the elevated horror, or it's different. And so he's bringing attention to something that filmmakers aren't really talking about. So I appreciated that. But there is one thing that I did not appreciate, and I don't know if I'm just looking too far into things. You can be the judge of that, and we'll talk about that a little later.
I can't wait to get to that point.
What did you think about all that kind of stuff?
I liked it. It wasn't as like in your face as like Get Out. As far as like the meanings and everything, or really even Us. This one had more vague. You really had to be paying attention to catch some of it. But I did the stuff that I did catch on to. I did enjoy that. That part of it. So he is. I mean, I am always going to be excited about a new Jordan Peele movie. I don't think he is the greatest director in the world. Sorry, he's got to have at least like 10 more movies under his belt for that conversation. But he is really good at what he does, and I was looking forward to this movie ever since I heard that he was making a new one. So like you, I did come out of it with like that was good. That was an okay movie. But I still liked it more than Us. But
okay.
But yeah, it was a fun movie. There were a few slow points in the movie that usually what I call character building sometimes is just slow.
Sure.
And there were a couple of moments in there, but there were a few moments that was one of the moments was kind of like a fake out, but it was still like pretty creepy and scary.
That was, I mean, there's another moment toward the beginning that I thought was pretty terrifying. And then the fake out part, that was like one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
I was like, man, really?
Kind of sucks it was a fake out.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, this is okay. This is getting serious now. And then it was a fake out. No, and it's like, okay, what the heck? Got me all excited.
Yeah. Yeah. So there were definitely some moments of horror in this movie.
Yeah.
But it definitely felt more like sci-fi, more drama than an actual full-on horror movie.
Definitely.
Which, I mean, Get Out wasn't really a horror movie either. That was psychological horror for sure.
Yeah.
And so I guess he does his this is sci-fi horror. That was psychological horror. Yeah. Us was also psychological horror.
Yeah, it was kind of like a slasher.
Yeah.
Like a home invasion slasher
after a while
type of movie.
Yeah.
That
was definitely more horror than the other two for sure. As far as full on horror.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. It's not, it's no Get Out, which I am going to get a lot of hate for this comment, I'm sure, but I like to I don't like to, but it's just something that I am going to do. Compare Jordan Peele with M. Night.
Yeah.
And that, the first movie, Sixth Sense, will probably always be M. Night's best movie he's ever made.
Yeah.
And to me, Get Out would probably be the best movie Jordan Peele's ever made. Doesn't mean that he's going to make like crappy movies after this, but it just means that when you set the bar high, it's hard to reach that bar again.
Yeah.
So, and that's the same with The Sixth Sense. Like at the time, if you're watching it for the first time now, it probably didn't have the same effect because those movies are a dime a dozen at this point.
Right.
But in 1999, those movies were not a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Like the whole twist, twist endings and all that. So if you're watching it today, then, you're probably going to disagree with me on that. But if you've watched it, even in the, first couple years it came out for the first time, then it's, it hit different.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So for me, that will probably be my favorite M. Night movie, and for me, Get Out would probably be my favorite Jordan Peele movie. So it's just
I can see the comparison there, and I did compare this to Signs earlier. And that's M. Night a little later in his career.
Second movie, yeah.
Was it the second one? Yeah, it was.
I think it was the second. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had back-to-back hits.
Yeah. And then he had The Village, right? That was the third one.
No, Unbreakable, I think, was the third one he did.
Oh, I thought Unbreakable was before Sixth Sense.
No.
Okay.
Unbreakable was like 2000, 2001. I think it was 2000.
Okay.
So he had back-to-back.
Yeah.
Good movie. So, I mean, it's another comparison to Jordan Peele because to a lot of people, he hasn't made a bad movie yet.
Right.
So it's like, one of these days, unless you're just one of those people where Jordan Peele can do no wrong.
Yeah. Well, not to get too sidetracked, but I think, when we're talking about horror directors, I don't think anybody can really say anything but Mike Flanagan right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he is not he's not a director that makes theatrical releases except for Dr. Sleep. That was like his biggest movie he ever made.
Yeah.
But most of his are like straight to like Netflix. Like he's got some deal going on with them.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But it's like, so because of all that, I feel like a lot of people don't know who he is, but he, in my opinion, has not done a bad movie or show.
Yeah.
Blind Manor is probably his weakest thing like ever, but I still enjoyed it.
Which one?
Blind Manor, Haunting of Blind Manor.
Oh yeah. True.
But other than that, like everything he's done has been gold, basically.
Yeah.
But it's just like he's not as well known as these people because these movies don't go to theaters. Yeah. And if you just release, a movie or a show on Netflix, like you've got a bajillion different movies and shows to choose from. Right. That his stuff's gonna kind of like, if you're not familiar with his work, is gonna go unseen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, but he's definitely up there.
Yeah, when you take into account like Hill House and Midnight Mass and Blind Manor, those are what, 8 to 10 episode series.
Yeah.
That's a lot of filming, screen time, writing. That's a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 3 straight series of quality, different stories. And then he's got, 4 or 5 movies under his belt, too, of horror?
Yeah. He's got, at least 5. I think he's got more than that, but yeah.
So, I don't know. I think he needs the respect, and Jordan Peele, that people need to calm down.
Yeah.
And it's really because he has that comedy background. So it's kind of different. You don't usually see comedians, get into horror films or big production movies and stuff. So
yeah, everyone already knew him from like Mad TV and Key and Peele. So he already had fans in comedy, and he just because he's a comedy writer, he's a comedian, and he gets into like the movie industry, and not just acting in the movie industry, but actually behind the scenes, writer, director. They're gonna take it out of proportion, and and he's good. I like him. He is good. He's not there yet for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Not saying that he won't be, but he's still new.
I mean, if he keeps it up, if he keeps the quality, I'd like a little more horror myself, personally. But if he can keep up the the camera work, like the cinematography, the writing, the acting, if he can keep up that quality in his films, then he'll be one of the best if he can keep it up.
For sure. Yeah,
so
definitely.
We'll see.
He's done 3 movies, guys. Calm down. Sure, he hasn't done a bad one yet for some people, but give it time.
So time will tell.
Yeah.
All right, let's rate it, grade it, and then we'll talk about some spoilers.
All right. So I don't know what I gave us, because back when that was like our second episode.
Yeah, our
third episode.
That was our first review.
Yeah. So it's been a while since we reviewed that one. So I don't know what I gave that one as far as score goes. And I feel like we're being more strict on our scores lately. So like my score may be lower in this one than Us was.
Okay.
But I do like this one more.
Okay.
But in that, I'm going to give this one an 83.
All right. Cool. That's a solid score. I'm going 72.
All right.
Yeah, for me it was okay. I want more horror. This is hardly a horror movie.
Oh yeah, so, it's more sci-fi.
So it's automatically going to lose 20 points.
Wow. It's already a B-, just off the bat. Damn. All right. I mean, he has the capability of doing horror. There were a couple of scenes, like we were saying, in this movie alone that were definitely horror.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, man, just do that.
Yeah, turn it up a notch.
Just
this one
do that for the entire movie.
This one appealed to a broader audience, I think.
It did,
if you're even not a fan of horror films because you think they're like scary, and I don't know why you'd be listening to us if that's you, but if you think horror films are like too scary, then this is like, out of everything, this is the one that you could probably watch and be okay.
Yeah,
it's really not that crazy. So
yeah, I mean, Get Out's not really that crazy either, but it is just psychologically it
gets pretty bloody, and you get some gore in there and stuff. Not too bad. It does though.
Towards the end there, but yeah.
Okay, so there's our ratings. You got an 83. I gave it 72.
Yep.
So now we're gonna talk about spoilers.
You have been.
Yes, you've been warned.
You need like a horn that says spoilers.
Maybe I can add that in the post-production.
In post.
All right, so Joel, what type of like themes or whatever did you pick up on?
So there were a couple. So to me, the movie explores, and I've seen a couple of like YouTube video reviews on this too, and a couple of them are like saying the same thing, same kind of stuff. But the movie explores like exploitation of animals and people for money. Yeah. I think was a pretty big one, especially like in Hollywood, and also like Hollywood will, tends to use you and then kick you out.
Yeah.
So the exploitation and the beginning part, this ranch has basically been home to like Hollywood movies, and they've been using the horses on the ranch for movies, and it was successful at first, but after a while, they're basically after the dad dies, because he seems to be the one putting everything together for movies and stuff like that.
It was a good horse trainer.
Yeah, he was a horse trainer. Yeah, and after a while, it seems like the farm is just kind of like trying to survive.
Right.
So having him as a spokesperson probably wasn't the smartest move. So he needed his sister there, but it got to a point where he had to end up selling some of his horses just to make it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the whole exploitation of animals and in Hollywood for money, and the whole they were big at one point, and now they're just trying to survive.
So now we kick you to the side, and
yeah,
you were making us money. Now we're not making the money, so we just throw you aside.
So yeah, exactly. And the same can be said for the character of Stephen Yeun. I think his name's Ricky.
Yeah.
He was a child actor who had a very traumatic moment, which I think, honestly, to me, is more of a compelling plot than the main plot of the movie.
Me
the
too.
whole monkey part, I think, could have been a movie on its own.
Yeah.
And so he grows up. Hollywood kicks him out, basically, and he's just basically selling himself, like selling that moment in history, his most traumatic experience he's ever had, to make some money. And so those are the main themes that I got from the movie. And Ricky, man, he was a cool character. I like Ricky.
Me too.
I wish we had got more of him, or give us maybe a prequel for Ricky.
Yeah,
because we can't have a sequel.
What was it? Gordy's Home.
Was it something
Gordy?
like that? I think it was Gordy. I'm pretty sure Gordy was the name of the monkey.
Yeah.
Gordy's Home.
Yeah, that was the television show. I'm guessing like in the 90s or something. It was like a sitcom with the monkey's name is Gordy, and it was like this show where the monkey, they'd like dress him up, and he was like like the pet, I guess, or like one of the kids or something.
He was like one of the family.
in this family sitcom. It looked like a corny like family stupid show. So that's where the exploitation of the monkey came into play. And so the monkey just goes off and kills everybody in the cast.
Everybody.
Except for him. Well, the little girl, she only got her face ripped off.
Only, that's all that happened. But
yeah. And then the little boy, which grows up to be the Ricky character, is spared.
Yeah.
So, yeah, That part was what I was referring to when I said it was like the more terrifying part.
Yeah.
The way that was shot, and there was like no music. It was just this monkey going around, and you got to see it from Ricky's like point of view.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you didn't like the camera wasn't like shifting around so much to like see, so you could see everything Gordy was doing. It was more like you could like tell what he was doing because you could see like a shadow of what he was doing, or you could see just like his tail, or you know, something like that. So
yeah,
that was very, very effective, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
And that was definitely the bloodiest scene, the only real bloody scene actually. And it was pretty violent. And
well, there was one scene where it was like raining blood after those people got sucked up into the
sucked
sky.
Up. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I thought that storyline was more interesting,
better than the main one.
Yeah.
It's like this, at least spend more time with this one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you have to make your movie slightly longer for that, then fine. Or, you know, cut out some of the main storylines. Because we didn't need the fries guy. We really didn't.
Not really. He was like the comedy relief or something.
Yeah.
And
yeah, kind of. It was, yeah. I think the sister was more of the comedy relief, but he was just kind of there.
He was kind of, I don't know, he made the movie not so dramatic. I don't know. He kind of was the light-hearted character, I guess.
Yeah, but it's just like we didn't need someone to come by and fix the like these guys are in show business. They I'm sure have the capability of doing the stuff that Ricky did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's stuff that could have been cut to, you know, give us more of the Ricky storyline.
Yeah, dive more into his trauma and stuff like
that.
Yeah, that I would agree, and maybe there will be a prequel to Gordy, or not Gordy, but to Nope. But it would be about Gordy and Ricky.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I'd be fine with that. Yeah, give us a prequel.
Yeah,
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, maybe Ricky, like, you know, is so traumatized. Maybe he's like a serial killer or something. I mean,
give us a different story. Yeah, maybe.
Give us a slasher. I mean, come on. I think every director should just give us a slasher.
Yeah, exactly. See what you're capable of. Come on.
Yeah, turn any story into a slasher. It's really easy.
Exactly. I mean, it's horror, so you know, you can't have horror without slasher. That's just nonsense.
Okay, so yeah, I picked up on some of that stuff that you're talking about too, the exploitation. I think society in general, just we move from one thing to the next so quickly, and we're looking for that next like spectacle and that next like thing to just obsess over for a short period of time. You know, it's like the news cycle. I mean, it's every week there's a new outrage about something, and then the next week it's like, okay, nobody cares about that thing last week, and it's something new. And, you know, it's kind of these characters, kind of the plot of the movie is these characters see this thing in the sky and they want to catch it on film to make money, to, you know, prove that it's there. And so they are exploiting this thing in the sky for fame and money. Yeah. And same thing is happening with the horses, and the same thing happened with Gordy when, you know, in the 90s with that TV show. So that's the basic theme. Now, I appreciate all that, and I think that that's something that filmmakers don't talk about and don't make movies about. So I was like, okay, that's different. And so cool. I'm with you. Now a couple of things I didn't like. I didn't like the design of this creature or whatever it turned into toward the end.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That was dumb. That looked so bad to me. I'm like, dude, you had such great design with the UFO, all the cinematography, everything, and then that's what you give us? That turned me off so bad. I was like, dude, what is this?
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of weird, but
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a design we haven't seen before, so
we should never see again. And what was the green parachute thing that was coming out of it? I don't even know how to describe it. It was I don't know what the hell that was about.
Yeah. I don't really know either. That whole sequence was really weird.
Yeah.
And just this took kind of a turn because this isn't how you were killing people before.
No.
So why is this all of a sudden how you're deciding to suck people up into your
something else I didn't like was that we actually saw the inside at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was sucked up and it was this tube that they went into, and we actually saw it. I thought leave that to more of a imagination, actually seeing it was kind of lame. So I thought that was kind of a lame choice. And then the at the end the big cowboy balloon thing gets sucked up, and that's what kills the thing. I thought that was kind of dumb too.
Yeah, that was really there were definitely some choices made towards the end of this movie that were just you just ran out of ideas, didn't you? This is there could have been a way better way of taking it down, or don't even take it down at all. Just let it have it escape. And horror movies do that. The bad guy lives at the end. And it makes for a more enjoyable time because that type of thing doesn't normally happen very often in horror. So when it does happen, I appreciate it.
I thought this was going to be one of those movies because there weren't, with the theme and with, I guess, the lesson or the moral to the story, everybody should have died because they were all trying to make money off of this thing flying in the sky. So I don't know why two of the characters got to live and got to get a picture of it without dying. That leads me to my problems and my
is this the moment?
All right. So I didn't take this, right away. As I was thinking about the movie later, a few days later, when I was thinking about what I wanted to say about it, these things came to mind. So, Jordan Peele, he makes movies with social commentary. Get Out was very obviously about, racism and things like that. Us was, more about class systems, which, then involves race too. And this movie on the surface didn't seem to have anything to say about that. There was one scene where the sister talks about her great grandfather or something was the first person on film.
Great grandfather was the first.
But nobody will ever know who he was because he was black. So besides that, I don't think there was anything real, really there to discuss or anything about race. But as I thought about it more, I also saw this interview with Jordan Peele. It was on, I think, the Today Show or some news show on NBC or something. And it was before the movie came out. I think it was the week of the movie releasing. And he was talking about race. And he was talking about how, black people historically have not been, given a fair shot in Hollywood. And,
he never thought that he would be able to make a movie with such a big budget because he's black and black directors don't get money for movies and so on and so forth. And so when I saw that interview, I was like, why is, maybe he has some points here, but why is he bringing that up to discuss this movie?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, there must be something there that I'm missing. So I dug a little deeper into what could potentially be there. And what I found I did not like. So this is what because I don't want people who are listening to think that I'm just constantly looking for race in movies, and I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for it being a Jordan Peele movie and that interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Since he brought it up, since he's made movies in the past that dealt with it, now I'm going to look for it. Mm-hmm. So, a very, very racist thing to call a black person is a monkey. Just going to put that out there. That's not a secret. I'm not saying it.
It's really not.
It is a thing that happens and used to happen a lot more and should have never happened, but it is a thing. It's a bad thing, but it's a
unfortunately part of our past.
Yeah.
Part of our history.
Yes. Okay. So, there is a monkey in this movie. This monkey is exploited. Slaves were exploited in the past, used for profit, kind of like this monkey. He was, used as a prop. He was, you made money, you go back in the cage, we'll film you again later when we need you. So, also, I don't know how this family on the sitcom is supposed to be related, because there's an Asian boy, a monkey, and then a white mom, dad, and little sister. So I don't know how it all was
Ricky may
put
have been
together.
Adopted, I don't know.
Yeah.
In the show.
I think Gordy is biological.
Oh yeah, definitely. He represents the little black boy in this little scenario that we're coming up with.
So, anyways, I don't feel like they really said anything about that in the movie. I don't think that they mentioned it. They didn't really focus on the show so much. Like we were saying, we kind of wanted to learn more about this show and about Ricky and all that. But so, anyways, this monkey goes and kills the white people. Okay, so he kills the white mom, the white dad, and he doesn't kill the girl. He just rips her face off.
Yeah,
and and he goes over to the Asian boy Ricky and gives him a fist bump. Doesn't go and kill him. Now, is Jordan Peele trying to say something with that? Is he saying like, hey, look what I did. Good job. Let's stick together. They're both minorities.
Yeah.
Is that something he's saying? Yeah. Yeah. Well, because what is the purpose of having him give him a fist bump? There has to be something there.
I think in the show that they were talking about, that's just like what they would do. They would give each other a fist bump. I'm pretty sure they did mention that briefly in the movie. Did they? Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. So that's basically what he was trying to do. Okay. He was. If we didn't really get to see what was going to happen, because he didn't actually get to give him a fist bump before, he got shot. He was killed. So for all we know, he could have maybe grabbed his wrist and brought him out and killed him. We don't know what was going to happen in that scene because it was cut short. But yeah, I would like to think that was not what he was trying to say. I think you dove a little too far.
Okay, did I go too far
into this?
Okay, well that's not it. I'm not
Oh,
done.
that's not even. We're not even done. Okay,
I'm not even done. So yeah, that, and again, I'm trying to find why he would talk about this in the interview when it comes to this movie.
Yeah.
And, this was something that he talks about often and was a part of his last two films. So I was wondering.
The clip that you saw in that interview, was that the full interview, or was that just like a clip of the actual interview itself? Because that could have been taken out of context if it was just like a clip.
True.
Because they could have been talking about that beforehand, and then
I don't remember.
This got brought up.
I'll have to find it again. It might have, because when they do interviews on TV, they clip the interviews too. So
yeah,
it's I don't know what the full conversation would have been. Maybe. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no,
because that sounds a little out of context, just because it seems kind of random to just all of a sudden just start talking about that, without there being some sort of a setup to that conversation.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to look for it to see more of the context. Mm-hmm. So then also, again, I'm looking for race stuff. There's black horses and white horses. The white horse dies. Gets taken. Mm-hmm. The black horse doesn't. The black people in the movie, while they are as to blame, maybe more to blame, because this was their idea in the first place.
It was their idea, yeah.
They get the picture, and they get to live. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. You're kind of losing me with your purpose here, with your theme, by not having everybody die. Because basically what you're saying
at least
is...
the sister, because, even he was not really, he wasn't as enthusiastic about the idea as she was.
Right.
She was the one trying to get that, as she put it, the money shot, the Oprah shot kind of
That's
kind
what
of thing.
she
He was
called it.
just like, whatever. He basically wanted the money for the business.
Yeah. And she's the one that gets the picture.
Yeah.
With the well thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a clever callback, I thought.
It was. I did like that. Yeah. I did think that was a cool way to bring that into the movie later on. I thought that was cool. So yeah, the whole theme kind of lost me there with that. And so yeah, those were the other things that I was wondering about. And it might not have been the intention of Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele. I did it again. Peele. Dude, the Warriors won the championship, so still think about him. So yeah, I don't know if that was his intention or not, but I was wondering, why is he giving him a fist bump? He just went through and killed these people, no problem, and then he goes over and gives him a fist bump. What's that about?
Yeah. It's probably that particular scene was probably just out of habit, because that's just what they did in the show.
Yeah. I didn't remember that.
That's
what they did.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive it was in the movie where they talk about that. Okay. Because it's I don't know, that line of thinking is the monkey actually knows what he did, knows what he's doing, kind of thing. It's giving him a bigger brain than he probably has. This is I'm going to kill these white people, and me and this Asian kid are gonna take over. I did a good thing, right? Fist bump.
Well, no, I think maybe the monkey isn't consciously aware of that, but just the fact that it happened, is that what he's trying to not necessarily promote as a good thing, but this movie is kind of like a revenge story. Yeah. At the same time. So, the alien thing it takes people when it looks at it for too long, like getting revenge for being, exploited or being seen as a spectacle or whatever. And the same thing happens with this monkey. He kind of gets his revenge. And so, maybe that is, more so what he's talking about is more of like this, getting revenge or whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's possible. I'd like to be on the side of, no, Jordan Peele's not, blatantly racist like that.
Well, and I had a similar issue with the Candyman. If you recall, I had an issue with all the victims being white in the movie. Mm-hmm. And obviously the whole police brutality thing was very prevalent and very in your face, especially toward the end of that film. And so it's possible, I think. I think there's people out there that, feel that way.
The black guy becomes the villain at the end, so he becomes Candyman.
Right. But is he a villain in that movie? I don't know if he's a villain in that movie.
No.
So, and that was the issue I had.
In general.
Yeah. That's a different kind of Candyman. It's not my Candyman.
No. Hashtag not my Candyman.
So yeah, I mean, I might be looking at it completely wrong, but I was like, is it in here at all? Is there anything in here? Or, am I looking too deep? I don't know.
I think that's one of those, what I was saying earlier is like the themes are a little vague in this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in there. It's just incredibly vague. And maybe with your digging as far as you did, maybe you hit it deep down. Maybe not on the conscious level, but deep down, that's what Jordan Peele is saying.
Yeah. Something else. This is not like really related to that, but something else I thought was kind of hypocritical was to talk about exploitation of animals in the film and then use animals in the film. I thought that was kind of like, okay, what? I'm watching a movie where there's, obviously trained horses and, all that while you're talking about, that being like a bad thing. So
yeah,
I don't know how you can do both. I actually put that on a comment and people hated that. Hated that I brought up. Well, first of all, I brought up the monkey, which I guess the monkey wasn't real. I didn't know that. It looked pretty legit to me.
Hey, CGI today is pretty good.
So people were all upset that I even mentioned the monkey because it's not real, and I got called every name in the book because I thought the monkey was real.
Hey, but internet, shut up.
There were plenty of horses in the film, so
they were not all CGI.
Yeah, that one you can't take away from me, and so people,
What were they saying about the horses? Like
the horses were fine, like they were just, I don't remember, making excuses. They were more so.
Yeah, they're not torturing the horses. That's not what you're talking about. Like,
right. It's
the
just
fact that they're in
them.
the movie means that they're being they're being exploited. Like,
oh,
there's no torture machine for the horses. They're okay. Yeah, obviously they're not going to harm the horses.
Yeah.
That's not what you're talking about, at all.
Oh exactly. So, and then they just kept going back to the you thought he was a real monkey or whatever. It's like, okay.
Because they don't have an answer for your horses thing. So obviously they're just going to attack you for the one thing that you got wrong. I hate the internet.
So
we're all over the internet with these podcasts, and I love the podcasts, but some of you people can be a little messed up.
Yeah. So that was on a post. It wasn't like in a horror group. It was like it might have been a post like from the movie itself, or something that like from the studio or something.
Oh wow! Okay. You can get all sorts of people.
Yeah. So I was gonna say I'm probably gonna get kicked out of another horror group, but it wasn't in there. It wasn't in one of them. So I think I get to stay for now.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's from
man.
Jordan Peele's like company or
Yeah.
what, Universal?
It might have been Universal. Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember.
So that comment got a lot of views if it was Universal.
Yeah. The whole universe.
Yeah, everyone, the whole universe saw it.
It was a universal comment. All right, so there you go. That's my my thoughts.
You're gonna get some hate letters, some hate emails.
And yeah,
Nobody even comments on anything, so
yeah, whatever.
not gonna get it. We're just gonna get lots of subscribers or whatever.
Hey, it's open conversation. I'm a free thinker. Okay.
It is, yeah, it is definitely open conversation, and it's not wrong either. I mean, it's, I didn't know the monkey wasn't real. Like,
Yeah.
they actually did a good job with
someone-
CGI in that movie.
Yeah,
Some of
someone mentioned in their comments, and they were very polite. They said that the monkey was like a played by an actor, actually. The actor who did one of the monkeys in the Planet of the Apes series over the last 3 series, whatever movies that they've had.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, thank you for telling me rather than calling me names and all these other things. So
yeah. People are so stupid. I mean, some of it could have been a real monkey too. Like,
yeah,
obviously when it's attacking people, it's not real.
Yeah,
but I mean, we don't even see that happen. It's just like kind of happens off screen. You just hear it. But yeah, they could have easily used a monkey for that.
Yeah, for something, for some parts.
Yeah,
there's pictures of it, and
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, was there absolutely no monkey at all used in this movie? I'd be curious.
Did a really good job for acting like a monkey the entire time, if not. I mean, he was in the Planet of the Apes movies. So.
He's had some practice.
Yeah.
So dumb. All right. Well, that's it. Hopefully, people still listen to our show. So next ones, like as far as new movies that are coming, we've got like Orphan First Kill, Jeepers Creepers eventually. And we'll have Halloween Ends coming in October.
Yes, only a couple months away. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, I think we covered everything.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that's it. There's our review on Jordan Peele's Nope from this year, 2022. And this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let Gordy bite.